Welcome to Soulful Sundaze. Welcome to Soulful Sundaze. I am your host, Lolita, and I am here with my beautiful co-host, and we are here around the island in the kitchen to talk about soul-inspired conversations. And today we have cooked up an amazing topic for you. It is poverty to prosperity. Woo! It's hot in the kitchen today.
It's not even on yet.
I'm going to introduce my beautiful co-host, Judy Johnson,
hey,
and my other co-host, Ty French, beautiful as well. And we are here because this is such a hot topic today in society, in the world, and I thought it was very important to use our platform to talk about an issue that we get so misconstrued. Like, money is very important, and if we don't use it wisely, we can lose it. And it's also important to know that if we are claiming to be powerful and children of God, then we should live in the riches of having money. So let's talk about that today. So I have brought on some amazing guests. Yes. I have Brandee Harris, who is an amazing creative director and choreographer. Okay. I have Lolita Robinson, who is an amazing financial advisor. Welcome, guys.
Drinks.
Yes,
Soulful
Sundaze. Yay.
Clink, clink, clink.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you guys.
I'm excited about this topic.
Me too.
Because money is a tool that I like to play with. And when I say play, it's important to have. It's important to use. But I want to say that prosperity, poverty to prosperity, I really do think it's a mindset.
Absolutely.
I really do think it's a mindset. It's being able to identify I lack and I want more. And in order to achieve the more, I have to prepare for it. And anything, especially money. So I'm so excited that we invited guests because I need help.
Yeah.
I need help with my money.
And before we hear from the guests, just want to piggyback on something you said, because as we know, it is a mindset.
Yes.
And I remember this one woman, her name is Michelle Rich. I hope she's watching, and I know she will be. But she said, someone said, oh, I'm poor, I can't do such and such. And she said, being broke is a temporary situation, but being poor is a state of mind.
Yes.
And so when she said that, it really rung true to me. And so hearing you say that it's a mindset, same thing.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I totally agree with that. It definitely is a mindset that can be changed with you just making that decision and choice to change it. Like you are one choice away, one decision away from changing your life. And that means every area of your life. So, just quick story. I remember just growing up, like I used to say, like, I come from poverty. I come from poverty. I come from a life of lack. I come from a life of urban, communities. But my mindset was never in the poverty mindset because I always knew there was a way out. I always knew that there was a way to prosperity, and that's how I got here today. So, I just want to talk to this amazing financial advisor, and I didn't just bring her on here because she was some random financial advisor, but I brought her on here because professional, yes. And I can testify that I also, like, she came into my life 2 years ago?
Yes.
2 years ago, and helped me change my mindset on a larger scale, because I was like, well, I know I'm a millionaire. Okay, well, how are you going to become a millionaire? What do we need to do? Let's take the steps to do it. And so I'm just here to testify. I mean, I know you worked with her too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Lolita is one that will give you the nuggets that you need to understand how to prepare for where you're growing to. And it's important because if you have a poverty mindset and you get some money, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're only going to end up back right where you started. So it's important to get your mind right to be able to grow in that space.
Right.
So because you said she given some nuggets, so what could you tell people if they just met you and it was like an elevator conversation?
Yeah.
1 or 2 tips that you could tell people about finance or something that they should know.
Well, like you guys were saying, I totally agree with mindset. I always tell all my clients 90% of getting on track to being wealthy is mindset. You have to learn how to cultivate the right mindset to do that. Like, I've been in the industry for 11 years, and when I first got started, I had to practice what I preach. I used to do real estate prior to this, and I had went through the fall of real estate in 2007 where I lost all my money, all my friends, my house, everything.
Wow.
And I was just like, God, like, why is this happening to me? And so I started to seek the knowledge and understanding of how to become wealthy, because I kid you not, if I had this knowledge before, I'd be a multi-millionaire right now, you know? And so as I started to gain the interest in knowing how to become financially wealthy, the first thing I went to was, okay, you know, who do I know that's doing better than I'm doing? You know, I always tell people, be cautious on the advice you get, especially from someone who's broke, you know?
Come on now.
Right. Let's drink to that.
Cheers on that.
Listen, I was like, let me just get mine in.
Yeah, so that would be the first thing, you know. Go find and seek the information that you need to know to become financially wealthy. The second thing is knowing where you are. You know, I had to sit down with myself and be transparent and find out exactly, okay, where am I, like, as far as just the numbers, you know? And that's probably one of the most difficult things for most people. You know, they don't want to be transparent and finding out, okay, I'm in debt, or, you know, I'm struggling, or, you know, whatever. And so you have to know where you are in order to know where you want to go and where you want to be.
Right.
And so I did that.
That's awesome.
No, and so I did that, and basically after getting a plan together, that's, you know, a step I would tell someone is putting something together that can guide you, you know, because any road will take you anywhere. But the moment you know where you want to go, if you have a plan, you would just stay on that plan, you know. In the environment or the things that are around it may change, but you can still stay on that road. And so getting a plan and actually sticking to it and just kind of going in that direction will help people. So those would like be the basic things, you know, cultivate the right mindset, and then get a plan, be, you know, transparent with yourself, know that you need help, you know, and don't try to help yourself. Like, that's probably the worst you can do, you know. I was like trying to help myself in the beginning, and then I was like, okay, I need help. And so I got a mentor, and she's a multi-millionaire, and I just asked her, what do I need to do? And there were things that I thought, okay, this is what I need to do, but that she ended up telling me, and I was like, oh, I had no idea I needed to think about that, you know. And so other people could see a different side if you allow them. And so I say go to professional, because maybe even your friends might lead you in the wrong direction, you know.
You gotta invest in yourself. Plant the seed in yourself so you can get the reward.
I just want to say, like, I met Brandee when I moved out here in LA 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And I remember when I was introduced to her, I think I like just walked up at your house at a party. No. Okay.
I heard a different story. From Brandee, I heard a different story.
That's a whole other story. I met her on different occasions, but for you know how life works. You know, everything comes full circle. I was invited to a cookout, and I just walked up in this girl's beautiful house on the hills. And I was like, okay, who house am I in? And didn't know who I was, you know, going to speak to or whatever. And I remember like, oh, hey girl, this your house. This your house. And just to find out who she was, and she's another, you know, East Coast girl. She comes from, you know, another urban, you know, area, and to take the steps to come out here to LA and change her whole life, and, you know, to walk into her prosperity, her good fruit. I was like, okay, I want to know how you got here, you know. So, you know, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your story.
Oh, okay. I'm from New Jersey. And, you know, I did not grow up wealthy. We grew up like 90% of the other black people in the world. However, I knew, I was like, I don't know you people. I was born in the wrong family.
Right.
Mindset.
Our mindset
That's
was
why you're out. That's why you're out. You made it.
We got what? This is black. You know? But, you know, my mom's here, so. But
Shout out to her mom.
Did the best she could as a single mama, you know. No, but I was determined that was not going to be my situation. And I wasn't trying to have money. Like, I just met my husband, and he was like, you know. He got with me, I upgraded him. But I had to be able to be like, you know what? I think that one is going places. You know? Let me jump. Yeah, so that's my story. I want to piggyback off of something you said where you were like, don't be scared to check your bank account. Like, people want money and they're like, hey, I'm a millionaire, but you're scared to look at your bank account. So you're scared of money, but you want money at the same time. Which is me, you know. So
I think we've all been there.
Yes.
you go to the ATM, you're like, let me get out $20. Do you want your receipt? Nope.
Nope.
Keep that.
My bank app is like, I go to that app every day.
I do too.
I go to that app every day.
But back when I was in college,
But did you always do that?
Sometimes you know you
I just downloaded the
app.
app. The app is new, so but I couldn't go to the bank every day to check. But no, it was
when
something.
you get money out the ATM.
Yeah, I would always want to make sure my money is in there.
always, never always. Like as a teenager or like a young,
Teenager.
you know,
Teenager, when I would just cash that thing until it said decline.
Okay.
So what's the importance of money? Like
It's
what's
a tool. It's a tool. Just like anything else in this world, it allows you to do the thing you want to do.
It provides you
It
better
provides you.
access.
Yes.
Well, access to better memories.
Yes.
That's one of my
To
life coaches says
resources.
that you have access to better memories because
Yes.
let's say if you're wealthy, right, you have a lot of money, you can travel the world and not worry about your day job. I got to get back. You're on somebody else's clock. If you have money, you have access to better things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And when I say better things, I'm not talking material. That's why I said memories because you can take your family. I want to take you on this trip. We've never been here. I want to take you here, there, this experience, whatever it is. If it's a show, Cirque du Soleil, whatever. The thing is, that's what money can do. As you said, it's a tool to provide you
And
those kinds of things.
It opens doors. I mean, think about all the things you can do when you don't have to ask someone, help me.
Yeah.
You become the lender. You become the person that can finance projects and open the hospitals or just do things that you don't have to go get permission to do.
Right.
I feel like the word of God says that God comes to give you a storehouse of wealth,
Yes.
of overflow and fruitfulness. So I feel like, you know, we should walk in prosperity. We should be wealthy. We should have the mindset that I want a Bentley, I want a Porsche, you know, and we should go and get those things. I think our purpose in life is if we're going to leave legacies, then that requires money. So we have to be important about our money, how we use our money, how we spend our money, and how we are giving our money, because we have to make sure we're planting the right seeds.
Yeah.
Because if we're not planting the right seeds, then our money can run dry.
I need to know this. Who here, parents, talk to y'all about money?
Never.
Showed you how to balance a checkbook?
Never.
Helped you
My
think
mom's
that's
really
meant.
good at saying
course
sales.
No, hold on. To a certain extent now. They didn't teach me how to balance a checkbook, but they taught me, you know, how they opened my first checking account and said, here, this is how you do this and make sure, you know, they just the basics kind of. I don't remember the words that they said, but I do remember having a lesson about it because they're like, be wise about it. You know what I mean? But to touch on something you said, that wealth, how we should have the storehouse or whatever of wealth and money are two different things. They can be, because when you talk about wealth, think about abundance, because you can you can have wealth, but then you can have money. But I know this particular one, we're talking about money in particular and finances and all of
But
that.
I'm going above and beyond. I want wealth.
Absolutely, because money is a part of wealth.
We want to own the bank.
But it's all encompassing, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say too that one of the things I feel that wealth brings to you is peace of mind. And it gives you the ability to make the right choices. Because when you have money, it'll tell you where you want to live, you know? You get to choose that, where you send your kids off to school, you know, what vacations you're going to take, you know, just different things. It gives you that peace of mind versus when you're in poverty and you have that mindset, but you're in it too. You're like, okay, I don't know if we're going to take a vacation this year, you know, or
holding
I
on
don't
to
know.
it.
I'm going to put my child in this school versus this one when you know they deserve this one, you know. And so to have wealth is generational, but also it creates peace of mind for you.
I agree with that.
I mean, I definitely find myself, even with my daughters, money is funny now because you don't see it. You don't touch it anymore. You don't hold it in your hands, or at least I don't have. You know, I do. But for the most part, it's a card. And these kids think that all you have to do is take that little plastic thing, stick it in that machine, and boop, money comes out. So there is this important thing of being able to touch it, to allow them to see it, in addition to balancing a checkbook, speaking about how do you save, where do you save your money, things like that that help you in the long term. So I'm definitely one to say that having entered in the entertainment industry, I got, you know, some money. That's probably why I was looking at my little app all day long.
Like,
another residual check. Another residual. I would get my residual check and be like, come on, zeros. Come on. But being able to put that in my account, and then I'm like, okay, well, what do I do with this money? How do you make money work for you?
That's a good question.
How do you make money work for you?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I think that for most of the time, what I tell my clients is basically have a goal and have a reason for each account. I think we're taught to just put all our money into one bank account, and then we pay bills with that same bank account. We try to save with that same, and then it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And before we know it, we've used all of that money that's in that account, and we haven't really done the things that we really wanted to do. So a lot of times I tell people to have a goal. So you should have a short-term goal, which is what I would call like an emergency fund, which is like 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved up in case something happened. You don't have to run back to a credit card or, you know, get into debt. You can actually use that emergency fund. And then have a midterm, like I would call it bucket, but it's an account, right? Where if you want to travel, if you want a spa day, if you want to take the kids to Disneyland, you go directly to that account to actually use that funds in there. And then the last one is long-term, because I think as human beings, we're such short-term thinkers that we never really plan for the future, you know, and before we know it, it's 10 years, 20 years later, and we're like, oh, we want to retire, but we never even start saving for retirement or anything, you know. And so being able to have all three of those things in place will kind of give you the foundation to start to build on top of that. Then you'll have accounts just like some of the accounts I have account just for shopping, you know. But I had to get there, you know. I had to build my 1 year emergency fund. Then I had to build, you know, for my investment properties. Then I had to build for my long-term savings. And then I was like, okay, well, now what do I want to build for? I was like, I love to travel. So I have an account just for traveling, you know.
What is building?
I feel like it's hard. I feel like it's, well, not harder, but being in the entertainment industry, you don't get like every 2 weeks.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? To be like, all right, well, this check, I'm going to take this. It's like, okay, this check, I'm going to get, I don't really know the next time I'm going to get another check to put in my shopping budget. So it's like, how do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm in the same boat too.
I want some shoes though.
But that's where the mindset comes into play
I was
for
about
me.
to say,
because
how do you help people change their mindset?
Yes.
Because that's not easy. Like we're saying, you know, it's a mindset. You just change it, but like,
I think it comes down to knowing why. Like I said, that's why I said it's important to be able to understand why you're doing it. Like when I would say, is it more important for me to go hang out with the girls right now and spend this $40, $50, or is it more important for me to get out of debt at that time or save towards my emergency? So then when I cultivated that mindset, and as my account started to grow, because my first $10,000 to try to save that was difficult.
I'm sure.
Like I was making
but
sacrifices. Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah, but it was after after I saved that first $10,000, it was so easy after that to get to 20,000 and 30,000 and 100,000 because I had already had the habit, and now it was just being persistent and continue to do it. Yeah, and so I think that most times people are so quick to go get our nails done, get our hair done, go shopping, and not understand why they're saving.
Yeah.
Like if you have children and you don't have a college fund for them right now, that's important.
That's very
You should start saving for that. Like skip Starbucks, go, and put that $20 towards a college fund.
So
Things like that.
I want to bring up a topic. So recently, I think we all saw this on social media where there was a pastor who bore his wife
I didn't see it.
Yeah, so Pastor John Gray, I think, bore his wife a Lamborghini from his savings, his book deals, and all of whatever. And people were attacking him like, you took the church money to go buy your wife a Lamborghini, as if pastors shouldn't live in prosperity, as pastors can't dress nice and look flashy because they're pastors. To me, it was just like, wow, like he's getting attacked because he's living in prosperity. That's literally what God wants for us. We're not supposed to live in poverty. God didn't die for us to live in poverty. If there's gold pavements in heaven, don't you think we should have a part of that here?
Right.
And I understand that to an extent. I've been in both situations where I've had a pastor that had his own money from other, like you said, book deals or whatever, or their salary. And I've had pastors that was just like, okay, everybody give the church $1,000, and then next thing you know, he showed up with a Lexus. So we ain't got no Lexus though. So I understand how it's like, well, I gave you, and I'm still struggling, but I also think in the right way, yes, they should have everything everybody else gets.
I just don't feel like, in my opinion, we should judge
We don't
anybody's money because we don't know where it came from because we're not in their home.
Oh, what I'm saying is when I do know where, when they did say take out a loan.
Well, that's a different story. That's a different story.
Like outright, I was in that situation.
They said take out a loan?
Yes.
Well, we're not claiming
That's
to
what
know, what's in their homes or what's in their bank accounts. But I'm just saying, I think because, we as spirit-led women and as daughters of Christ, we should have a prosperity mindset. We should feel and believe that we can have the things that's out. If God put a Bentley on earth for us and 10-bedroom mansions, then who is supposed to have it? Is it limited to certain people? No.
I'm gonna translate it to Lamborghini,
Bentley,
whatever equals or equivalent to a cattle of 1,000. What's the difference? Because at one point in time, you were graded by farming, your cattle. You were graded by how many sheeps you had, and that. No, seriously, that's what made you rich.
Right.
You was banging, you was balling, you had camels, you had this, you had that, and you was at the top of your game. And guess what? You loved God.
Yeah. Right.
You were a man of God. I don't see the difference here. It's just you ain't running around in no.
Yeah.
You don't need
that. Yeah.
But I will say, the people were also prospering.
Yeah.
So if your mindset is one where you can visually have a goal and set it out and get it accomplished, yes. And teaching that, yes. And I won't fault the man of God or woman of God for teaching this and the people not catching it yet.
Yeah.
So there's always levels and it always changes. But biblical times versus the biblical times that we're living in now, you daggone right, I'm gonna ball in my prosperity because God has blessed me.
Exactly.
If you mad, you a hater.
I was just gonna say, the bigger the blessing, the bigger the blessing, the bigger the glory. So because when you have that, if you are blessed in that particular area or whatever area in your life, you should shine.
Yes.
Like you should come here with a whole bunch of racks on your chest.
Can I get one down?
But here's the difference. So how you're saying back in biblical times that they had, how many? It's about quantity, not so much quality. If they were saying, they had camels versus cows, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they probably had everything. But when you talk about today and what pastors are having or preachers or people, the average person is looking at it as status symbols. So it's not like he bought a whole bunch of Acuras and said, I'm going to bless my whole family was Acuras. He bought a Lamborghini. And people associate that with a status symbol. If you have a Lamborghini, you're balling out of control and you want people to see that. You know, you don't buy a Lamborghini just for myself. Some people might, but you're driving it on the street.
Want one.
I'm just saying. But then when you think about it, it's synonymous.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Nothing,
What's wrong
but
with
it's
just
the overall societal view. It's synonymous with the rappers. Because they brag about having, my Bentley, my this, my that.
Why not?
Right.
Why do I want
Why? I don't want
Why do I want a Porsche Cayenne?
Why?
Because I just want to drive in it because I can, because I walking in the power and the prosperity that I just want to drive that and I can. Like it doesn't.
You know, a lot of people want money for the wrong reason. They want money so that they can go to Gucci and go to here to there to wear everything so that people can then look at them as being at a certain level in life and then that makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah, well, see, that's,
when you're in your quest for wealth or whether you're coming into wealth, you just got to really be sure about who you are and secure in yourself because it can mess you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be that person that has money, but you don't care if anybody knows.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'm still, you know, I got dollars. I'm not saying me. I mean, I don't like to brag, but no, like if someone just met me and they saw that I was wearing my clothes from Target, you know that's my favorite.
Listen.
Target.
Target.
My Target outfits. I don't care.
Right.
So what? I can afford what I feel like wearing. None of that makes me who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in people's quest for money, I really just want people to think about why, really, for real, why? Not just because I can, but for real, why? Like, would you have $1 million to be comfortable, still drive and afford?
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It all boils down to your self-value, confidence, your spirituality. Like I know that when the millions and the billions come to me, I know where it came from and I know what my purpose is. I'm a giver. I'm always going to plant seeds into people, into organizations, but I'm going to always make sure it's the right places and people I'm planting into. So like my why, like to have wealth is so that I can leave a legacy for my children, so that I can have these platform for purpose organizations all across the world to empower so many young boys and girls to grow up and to fulfill that purpose. That's the reason why I'm going to have wealth.
I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to just back to Pastor Gray.
Come on. You don't want to dwell on
it. I don't want to dwell on it, but I do want to. I wanted to be able to highlight this fact that as I elevate, my circle elevates.
Absolutely.
So if I buy a Lambo, you don't have a problem with my Lambo.
So remember that.
I know. No, because we grow together. If I'm impacting and connected as I believe we are, how I elevate, then that trickles down or trickles up or trickles across. However, so that when we talk and discuss, it's like, yeah, girl, how is this for you? Y'all was here, y'all was balling out of control or whatever it is. It's not an envious thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not I wish this was my thing.
I was going to say, too, I think that money magnifies who you are, who you really are. So if you come into wealth and you're a bad person, then you're just going to do bad things with that wealth.
Yeah.
And if you're a good person, you're going to do great things, like you were saying, all of the great things that you want to do. And it's so true, because sometimes when people come into wealth, they experience those different things. Like a lot of times, like when we were going back to talking about cultivating the right mindset, there's a lot of times where people have won money, like through the lottery and things like that, right? And then they end up broke again, right? That happen, right? But also too, not knowing like where to go seek that information and things like that. So I think like what we've been talking about, knowing why and being grounded and having that foundation, because when wealth comes, then you know exactly what to do with it versus being scattered all over the place.
And I wanted to touch on something. Judy had asked you, like, how do you make your money work for you? Now, you know, I ain't got the Lolita PhD in money. But one thing a principle that I've always done, that I always give. I always give to
Yes.
people, to the right people, because I know I'm gonna always have some dollar signs in my bank account if I'm always like, oh here, oh here, like, and I can't hold on to that.
Right.
And that's just something that I've always been like, I just, maybe because my faith is in that, okay, I'm gonna give it, I'm always gonna have it, so it's always there. I also always feel like I'm gonna have it. So this would not be any advice that Miss Lolita would give you, but I do some
No,
stuff.
I actually do.
No, what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But I was telling her the other day, I'm like, sometimes I do stupid stuff like spend way too much money at the store, but I'm like, I'm just gonna get some more, so why not? And it's always been like that, even before I married into money. It's because I just know, like, I'm not going to be broke. Like, I have anti-brokenness on
Exactly.
my
You're
sleeve,
claiming that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And it goes back to the mindset.
Yeah.
You're claiming that. So you don't have a poverty mindset.
Right.
You know that if I spend, it don't matter if I spend $1,500 today, I know God going to give it right back to me.
Okay.
Because what you're spending is not something that's like a bad seed. You know, like, it's like, okay.
Yes.
She's like, yes, it was a bad.
But you're still conscious of what you're doing.
Yeah, I know
at
what
the
I'm
end of the
doing.
day. It's not just like I'm gonna go spend all my rent money and I'm gonna have nothing tomorrow.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a difference. You know, like, studying under my prophet Lovi Langoba, he always talks about sowing into the right seeds, into the right fruit. Because if you don't, you can literally run dry.
Yes.
You know, like, and I remember like last year, I didn't sow as much as I did this year. And I was wondering, like, why is things so tight for me? Why is we having like financial issues? Because I wasn't sowing seeds to even produce more fruit. So this year I started sowing seeds, and my husband was sowing seeds for us, and it was like, oh wow, like it was like I was being blessed, not even like before even asking, but it was because what we planted in the beginning of the year. So yeah, you just got to make sure you're planting the right seeds to make sure that your prosperity will never run dry.
I'm going to give you my elevator speech because you ain't asked me.
Oh, nice. Yes, share your elevator speech. So, come on and elevate us all.
These are my 3 financial tips. 1, always, give to people. Don't let nobody manipulate you into giving nothing. But when you feel like maybe I should give her $10, go ahead and give her $10. Pay your tithes.
Yes.
Okay, please. Okay, you'll go broke real quick. Not good enough. And I have adopted recently this mentality of being fake broke. Now it is not a broke mentality, but I'm fake broke. So, like, do I really need these pants? Girl, you fake broke. You can't afford that. Go somewhere else.
So you basically tricking your
You have to be a good actress for that, because it won't work for me. I'm buying the
You gotta
pants.
be fake broke. You gotta be like, how much is that? Girl.
But
That's too much for me.
Do you go shopping a lot? Because I only go out because I'm going to pick something up.
Oh, no.
No, you go out
I'm
and
like,
Brandee be at Target every day. Brandee FaceTimes me and sit like, girl, you like these sweatpants? Like, you probably got them in blue. Stop.
So I like the fake broke mentality sometimes.
She could do that. A lot of times, like I tell people a lot that poor people stay poor because they act like they're rich, and rich people stay rich because they act like they're poor. And so it's just,
Say it again.
Yeah, one more time for that.
Good way. Say it again.
Right. Poor people
Say
stay
it to
poor.
them. They need
Poor
it.
people stay poor because they act like they're rich, and rich people stay rich because they act like they're poor.
That's good. That's good. That's why they say the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor.
Because you know what's important. Once you've gotten so many things that you've always dreamed of, then you're like,
it's
okay,
Yeah.
that was cool. Don't need that anymore.
Right.
All right.
Right, it's fleeting almost,
Yeah.
especially the material things when it comes to
Yes.
money. And because I share the same kind of sentiment with you when it comes to shopping. I'm like, why did I spend that much?
right.
I don't really need that, but it'll be replenished, and I don't want to stay in that mindset because it's not good to live in. It's okay to visit, but not okay to live in. You know what I mean? But yeah.
We hope we share some wisdom and
Yes.
knowledge with you guys today.
Yes.
I'm so glad that our Spirit-led sisters was here to join us and just give you guys the knowledge and understanding when it comes to poverty and when it comes to prosperity. And remember, because I mean this when I say this, you are literally one step away from changing your life, changing your circumstances, and changing your legacy. So we can't wait to see you guys next Sunday on Soulful Sundaze.
And hopefully if you don't have a budget, you start one.